Happy Thursday, everyone. Welcome to ATI Pro Media. We're powered by Advanced Training. I figured if I was going to give you bad news, I might dress a little nicer. Feels good to look like a professional. Feels good to work with professionals. Now, Brady's going to come in hot off the set with a t-shirt, but you got to understand he was feeding cattle, and so he actually works for a living. And unlike us guys who wear makeup, which don't judge, there's a lot of us out there. We wanted to look pretty for you today. What's not pretty though is the markets. Let's take it to LaSalle Street. D's corn down 2, no beans down 6, meal down 48, soybean oil up 48, wheat board of trade down 10, KC down 7, hard red spring down 6, live cattle struggling at unchanged, feeder cattle showing a little strength up 100, lean hogs down 12. Gold, let's take it to Wall Street. Gold it is, down 25, but just coming off record highs. Record highs on gold. That's interesting there. Silver down 10 cents. 2 years, 5 years, 10s, 30s. The 10-year yield closed yesterday around record lows on the year, but interest rates roaring back as the stock market hits all-time highs. Natural gas down 86, approaching that 2,000 level. Dow Jones unchanged. NASDAQ up 50, S&P's up 13. Bitcoin down 1,000. Dr. Copper down a sliver. Bring him in the show. The hardest working man in Dodge City, Kansas, Mr. Brady Huck. What do you think of my little outfit? Gina laid this out for me. I matched to like the animals and stuff and got the whole thing going here.
You look good, Tommy. I like it. I've got a tuxedo t-shirt, and I think I'm going to up my game a little bit going forward.
Full disclosure, I have zero makeup on today. I did work out before the show, and I am just naturally red cheeked like this. But I feel good. Feels good to get up and work out. I did not want to get up that early and go work out, but now that it's over, I feel great about it. What's going on in Dodge City, Kansas, Cowboy? You want to go through some headlines?
Yeah, let's roll through. We got the Pro Farmer Tour continues on here this week, and lots to watch there, lots to pay attention to. I don't know, those Illinois numbers kind of confirmation. We got a big crop out there on and big potential on soybeans.
Yeah, and this morning within Advanced Trading, a lot of data came out. We would pop it up here, but heck with it. If you want data from Advanced Trading, become an Advanced Trading client, come up Pro Media subscribe, and we'll give it to you. Too much good stuff to just let all that, kind of like on Halloween, we want to throw out little pieces of candy. We don't want to throw out the big candy bars, but those were the people you wanted to stop by their house. Now, of course, I don't know what trick-or-treating was like for you. You probably got, I would assume, driven around somewhere, right? You had to go in the back of the pickup and go to where there was a few more houses. Is that correct?
Yeah. Living on the outskirts of town, we had to go hunt down the neighborhoods, and
not judging.
The dentist,
no judgment zone.
No judgment. Yeah, the dentist ironically gave out the big candy bars. Tommy, that was
oh, the irony. Yeah.
But
all right, lots more headlines, and this is probably why the markets are down right there. Read it off, B. Huck.
Canada Railways lock out workers as talks fail. Snarling trade. That's a interesting headline here. That's I don't know the impact. I don't know what are your thoughts on the impact with that, Tommy?
Well, we got a nice little harvest going on in North Dakota and Canada. I consider them all like, kind of connected up there. Big bushels coming off could help the PNW. Keep an eye on bids coming into the PNW. It's not easy to just shut things down. It's very disruptive. It just doesn't work well. And right at the gut slot, maybe not quite, but yeah, the gut slot of wheat harvest, canola rolling in. Keep an eye on canola prices and oat prices. Definitely could affect the markets. But I wouldn't call it a black swan. I just call it a wrench in the works, right? I mean, black swans are 9/11 type of events. We're not that level, but
flip of the switch, this thing changes on a dime again, right?
Yeah, well, if they end it in a few days, maybe look for a little bid to come. Keep an eye on sep corn. I'm just going to look here real quick. I just want to see sep corn, how that's reacting versus sep corn's only down 0.5 cents. So when you look at that sep D's, it's interesting there. Watch your spreads. If you need help with spreads, talk to someone who understands spreads. We have a lot of great commercial brokers and, pros only, right?
Yeah, pros only. Yeah. Speaking of pros, we've got the Fed meeting in Jackson Hole that starts today. Going to be interesting, the rhetoric that comes out of that, and a lot of big decisions happen at that Jackson Hole meeting, Tommy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's Jackson Hole, and then there's something, I think 6 months from today, called Humphrey Hawkins, and those tend to be market movers. Now, I don't know where they're going to move the markets. The NASDAQ's up again. The Dow Jones is at 41,000 exactly right now within the second. Dow Jones futures 41,000. If you would have told me 3 weeks ago on that Monday VIX spike, don't worry, in 3 weeks we'll be at really low
What a
volatility,
bounce.
stock market highs, I would have lost the bet. And I bet you a lot of people are losing money because people who bought a lot of insurance, so they want to get out
Mhm.
winning trades. Well, if you puke Dow at 3850, 38,500, now we're at 41. How do you get back in? We're coming, I don't want to say month end, but we're just starting the third quarter, right?
Yep. Those sentiment swings, they go ahead. Sorry.
We're like in the middle of the third quarter,
Yeah.
right? So the end of June would be the end of the second quarter. We got through July. I'm trying to count my months. We are halfway through the third quarter.
Mhm.
So these people got to make sure they look good by the end of the third quarter.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, I was going to say the sentiment swings, the emotions, they drive the decision making to, panic out, whether it's, grains, whether it's livestock, or whether it's the stock market. It's just, you got to be careful how those emotions impact you and make you panic out of positions or panic into something when it's, doesn't make sense. That's kind of my thoughts there on that.
Interesting. I called where our 401ks are. I don't want to say it out loud because there could be some really good hackers out on the internet.
Yeah.
And they're like, I'm Brady Huck. I just want to check in on my 401k.
They'll be disappointed if they
$1,
click on
Bob, $1. But I asked the gal, I said, just wondering, when the stock market has a bad day, how high is your call volume? She said like 3 to 1, 4 to 1. So when the stock market's down high, she said the phones line up and we go from 1 minute wait to a half hour wait. And they can only do so much, right? But
yeah, when you talk about volatility with that too, you're panicking out, and the volatility when the stocks go down, when the cattle go down, volatility goes up. When grains, when they go up, that's when volatility goes up and increases. Interesting how it reacts. That insurance gets really expensive going different directions on those different products.
Yeah, I will say I agree, but a couple times, a long time ago, 15, 16 years ago, I can't even think. It was a long time ago. Corn collapsed, like we're now. Let's talk these futures. We're 396, right? And say we close at 390. In a few days from now, we're 370. It went down so hard, so fast that the CME, they have this matrix that it's not just one thing. It's I want to say there's like 16 components that go into how margins are determined on futures, and it has a name, and maybe it's called like SPAN or something, not C-SPAN, but I forget all the fancy. But if you're out there and you're a trader, a broker, a back office person, you're like, hey, spit it out. It's called this. But nonetheless, I've seen corn collapse in the CME raise margin. If you want to see someone pissed off, tell them corn's down 20 and the margin on their futures went up. So they have to send even more extra money for a contract that's worth less. So if you take 5,000 times 4, you have the big picture of what that contract's worth. If you take 5,000 bushels times 350, they're like, why do I have to send in more money when this is worth less? I'm like, I don't make the rules. Just thanks for playing, right?
Yeah.
And only a few times I've seen that. But to your point, when we had $7-8 corn and we were trading these $10 calls like they were candy, I remember for a client selling, you're going to laugh, everyone, I sold 100 D's $10 calls for like 22 cents a few years ago. And they were long futures, and they said, let's sell calls at a ridiculous high price and see if the two can meet. They never did. So interesting, the things you can do when volatility's cooking. Speaking of cooking, cattle been cooking. You got a couple more headlines, or you want to talk?
Yeah, let's rock. We've got a couple more headlines with the flash sales reported this morning. Yep, got 198,000 metric tons of beans to China. Got some meal to Vietnam here. Got some corn to Mexico. It was a laundry list of export sales, which is great to see. It's pivoting into that time of year when we have the Pro Farmer Tour. We're looking at the crop, the size of the crop. We need to be looking at the other side of things too. And are we getting that crop moved out the door? These are great things to see, but we need to see more of them, Tommy.
And this is that time when China comes in and says, thank you, American farmer, for producing such a great crop and selling it to us at such a great level. It feels insulting, and it probably is, because that's what just happened. Oh, this isn't good. What's this, Brady?
Alamo Group to close a Rhino Ag facility in Gibson, Illinois next year, and I heard that they are moving that production down to Alabama. But it's another headline of strategic company moves, jobs lost, facilities getting closed, just kind of an echo across the the corporate environment, the macro economy, and even the ag environment, ag sector. So disappointing to see those headlines continue to kind of trickle in here.
Yeah, disappointing, but for every effect, there's another effect. This one's tough to talk about. I'm gonna punt because there's people so much smarter who understands this. But this is what everyone's arguing about on CNBC, Bloomberg. We knew this was coming, so I find it odd that we knew there was going to be a revision, and then people like Zero Hedge and others just, oh, this is how they've been hiding the jobs. I kind of understand it. I don't even want. I'll tell you this. I'll do you a favor. I'll lower my ringer on my phone. Jojo, you might want to get that one. There's people so much smarter who understand this in and out, but I like watching CNBC, I like watching Bloomberg, I like watching various business channels. We kind of knew this was coming, and then when the headline came out, they're like, "See, America's collapsing." Well, Dow Jones 41,000 collapsing don't go in the same sentence here. We did just sell off a little bit in stocks. Maybe something came out of Jackson Hole, but markets are going to stay volatile for a while with everything we have going on with the election. And sometimes on slow news days, press, media, et cetera, like to make something bigger out of than what it is. So if you Google this information, job changes, there's probably a lot of people podcasting right now about it, giving their opinion. And no matter what your opinion, you can spin. When people don't understand what this means, it's very easy to spin it and trick people and to be like, "Oh, see what they did? They're trying to ruin your life." And I don't know about that. The way I judge things is like go to a restaurant, and if there's help wanted sign $20 an hour minimum, then like the labor market's tight. I would say, I don't know, it's regionally. Like our economy here in Indiana is extremely healthy because of all the people who moved from Illinois. And but maybe by you're like, you know what? Yeah, that things are calming down. How do you look at labor by your house, Brady?
Yeah, good question. Very much tied to the ag industry and our production out here in Western Kansas. Do we raise bushels? And the farming economy, the cattle economy. How well is the farmer and rancher doing? Because at the end of the day, we're all trying to add value to what they're doing and help their businesses. So very much tied to ag. But when you see McDonald's, whoever pumping a $5 meal special, those type of promotions, vehicle ads to come buy a car or a truck, a pickup, you kind of got, if they're advertising for it, they're wanting to move some product, they're wanting to get you in the door. And those are things we didn't necessarily see a couple years ago that have changed over the last year or so.
Yeah, we went from we can't get it to, going to a parts dealer, this, that, anything else. We can't get it to, we have plenty and we can discount it. I do feel like they're taking an exaggerated high price and discounting that. So my next door neighbor's brother owns a carpet store. Mm-hmm. He said the biggest scam in history, well, there's many scams, but one of the better scams in history is how his brother does a giant sale at the carpet store. So you have the price of carpet. Mm-hmm. And they spend a few days changing all the prices real high. So they do it on a Sunday or something, or on a Thursday after the close. They change all the prices of carpet and they raise them tremendously. And then they say a 40% off sale liquidation. And it's like a no savings. He said the real trick and dirtiness is sometimes they actually raise the price, put it on sale, and people flock the doors and tackle people like it's Good Friday at Best Buy to get the TV. So be careful. Your thing that's on sale, how much did they raise the price before they put it on sale? But
I got to buy it though. I'm saving $100 by buying it, Tommy. It was $100.
Yeah. I love when my kids tell me, "Look what I saved you." I said, if it hit the credit card, you didn't save me anything. But anyway, speaking of saving, we have some farmers we need to contact and save. And I think people are upset in the cattle industry. We'll go solo. You said you had a rant.
Yeah, let's talk cattle here, Tommy.
Okay.
So we got a cattle on feed report tomorrow. I'm going to flash this up. Remember, there's no LRP Friday per the new rules. So you got to get your LRP done today if you want coverage in going into that report. But let's dive into these numbers here. Placements, the average guess is 104% versus a year ago, but we're comparing to a very light placements number last year. Last year's number was down 9%. So we've got to keep that in mind. Steiner Consulting shared some research with us that auction sales for July were down 3 to 4% versus a year ago, but the online sales were actually up 10% for the month of July. versus a year ago. So interesting kind of shift in cattle movement, where they're getting sold, how they're getting sold. But watch that placements number. Next thing I talk about here is the marketing's number. 8.2% higher than a year ago is kind of the estimate for the guess on marketings on cattle on feed. That looks, really supportive and bullish, but we got to keep in mind there's 2 extra marketing days in the month of July. And if you adjust for that factor, then slaughter would actually be down 1% in July if we realize that 8.2% number versus a year ago. So interesting stuff. Other thing we've got to keep in mind with placements, jumping back to placements a little bit, is the Mexican cattle imports. Seeing more cattle come in from Mexico imported there. On feed number for August 1 looks to be pretty stagnant versus a year ago. There's a lot of big things happening in the cattle world outside of just this on feed report. Maybe this on feed report is a catalyst of some sort to provide some support for the market, or maybe it sends this thing even lower. But we've talked about cattle relentlessly, guys. High prices cure high prices. The supply side of the story, it's one side of the story. And I think we got to be careful of the echo chamber that we get built in there. We got to watch demand. How sustainable is the cutout at these levels? The round, the chuck are contributing a tremendous amount of value to the cutout right now. And there's a lot of concerns about how sustainable that is going forward, because the round and the chuck, they account for about 50% of the value in the cutout. And with lean beef prices where they're at, they're buying those rounds and chucks and converting that to lean beef. But the economy, a lot of uncertainty out there. I'm worried if if we go take out these, I'm going to say it, Tommy, if we take out the highs that we've already made in this cattle market, I think it's because we have inflation 3.0 happening. I feel like that's what's going to send this thing higher, and it's probably not a good thing for the global macro, everything, big picture.
Mm-hmm. And I think the bond market's sniffing that out a little bit. And I've been on shows and they talk about that. Hey, if we lower rates, great. If we lower rates too much and the stock market's at the high, aren't you inviting inflation back into your world? So the analogy I like to give is you had a fire, you thought you put it out, but there was still some embers that were smoldering. Fire department leaves, neighbor calls and says that pile of rubble's still on fire again. That's what inflation looks like in my world. Great point, Brady. I love it. Okay, what can guys do? How they get a hold of you for LRP? Enough about me. Let's talk about you.
Yeah, well, we got a process that helps you get control, establish a floor, manage a market trend from that point of control. You don't have to be a victim of this market. Don't paint yourself in a marketing corner. Leave the upside open because you want to hit triples and home runs. LRP, put floors, they're a great foundation. We've got a process that helps you get control, manage the market and embrace the trend, and gives you flexibility for down the road. You just got to say yes and let us help you help yourself. So give us a call.
I like that. I like that. They can call this number. If they call this number, I'll get you right over to Brady immediately. Stick with that number. We'll get you right to Brady Huck. Speed dial is 24/7. I had a client call me 8:30 last night, ATI Pro Media client. He called one to thank all of us. He said, so it's funny what he said. He said, I started listening to you guys months ago on the free stream. I subscribed, and you were very adamant that there was tons of old crop. He said, here, I thought I was special making bad choices. It ends up I wasn't. And we said it a little bit more funny than that, but pretty much he said to himself, I thought I was the dumb one. I go, oh, no. You are not special. There are plenty out there. I go, what makes you think there's so much old crop out there? He said, well, I live off a major road that goes to an ethanol plant and an end user and et cetera in South Dakota. And I see my friends, family, and neighbors from 50 miles around doing the Hall of Shame. So you want to be on the Wall of Fame, not doing the Hall of Shame. But he said, thank you so much. I sold my stuff a few weeks ago. I'd like to start getting protected in 2025. I said, well, that'd be great if you had an account. So I think he's doing a little paperwork today and wants to start on some beans. And
that's good.
He said, I just don't want to go to bed and see these markets down another $1. I'm done.
Yeah. Well, and it's never too late to start or to change and to say, hey, I need some help here. And I think we're in that market where guys need help. You need to sit down. We need to take time to learn how to use the tools. But we don't want to paint ourselves in a marketing corner here too. Oftentimes we want to manage risk when we're scared. We don't want to manage risk when it's $6, $7, $8 corn. We don't care at that point. But now all of a sudden we care, and we can. Things can change just because the sentiment flips into bearish right now. I don't think I want to be a perma bear. I think this is a trap a guy can set themselves into and walk into and miss out on some opportunity down the road if things change.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, things have changed a lot since we started here today. Seeing a big sell-off in gold. We don't need to go show the displays, but gold's down 40. Stock market's rolled over. It's lower. Your live cow that we're up or down. Beans are down 15. If you're advanced trading client, you're probably uh, lowering your floor. We're sending you home money here in the next few days. I'll be calling clients. Dave Lechtenberg and I are going to do a special about that. Last night's premium, real quick before we get into comments. Talk Pro Farmer Crop Tour, just coming out at 8 o'clock, looking at the numbers. I like showing people the volume. Last night, when the Pro Farmer Crop Tour came out at 8 o'clock, we had a 1 cent range in corn. And when the numbers came out, corn did not move. The market knows what's out there. It's digesting what's out there. If there is a shock, like there's just a little bit less out there, don't worry, folks. You have plenty of old crop to help pushing things down. I liked what you said, Brady, that there's never a right or wrong time to just say, I need to get in control again. I'm out of control. I talked to a client today, and I said it's equivalent to someone who's having problems in a relationship. One day they just knock on the door at their parents' house and say, I'm moving home. And mom and dad say, welcome home. And they don't ask you why you came home, but they know something wasn't right that you come knocking on the door that late. That's what's happening in our business. Our phones are ringing, the advanced trading line, the ATI Pro Media line. We're actually making appointments with people and getting people at least in control. I'm not saying it's the timing of it's all perfect. I'm saying this. If you go back to the Tom Berry video on Premium last week, Tom Berry started as a broker at Advanced Trading when we had 750 corn. He said, they're laughing at me. I said, they're not laughing at you anymore. All those farms you went and visited, go revisit them. Say, hi, it's me. I bet you they'll be happy to see you. Questions, comments, and we will get out of here because I'm going to go join my friend Tony St. James on RFD TV here at 9:45. Cody Williams, read it up, B-Huck.
There, Cody, good question here. What does the cattle market look like going into the fall? That's a great question. A lot of cattle get weaned and go to town. I'm a little interested to see what the depth of demand will be for buying those feeder calves, putting them on feed, putting them in the feed yard. A lot of it's going to be tied to the outside world macro market economy, health of the economy and the consumer, and that choice cut out. So that's, if you want to visit a little deeper, give us a ring and we'll chat a little deeper.
I like that. What else do we have for questions or comments?
Nathan, sounds like the big home store, 11% off everything store wide, but you receive this as an in-store only gift card. Oh yeah. So you have to apply for it. That's genius marketing. Good stuff. Yeah, lots of marketing incentives to keep the money in-house and give you a little discount to come back again another day.
Absolutely. Hey, real quick on a funny note, producer Joe, after we get done with shows, he rips shorts. We use software. It uses AI. Half the shorts, I don't even know if they make sense. It sounds like alphabet soup sometimes. Heck, I could be president talking like some of these shorts. But we had a short going viral here. I texted you guys last night. I said, oh, this thing's got 35, 40. It's at 71,000. So if you go to the Advanced Trading YouTube page, of course, like, subscribe, hit notifications. I was looking at some of the YouTube statistics last night, and we have a nice group of people hitting notification. But if you want to know that myself, Brady, Connor, any of the boys or girls who are part of the show are going live, it could be what we do after USDA reports. It could be what we do with Brian and the boys breaking it down, and Drew Moore on USDA reports. If you hit that go live notification button, when we go live, you'll get a notification. It's not for everyone, but it's a nice little pop-up. So when we hit go live and you see us spinning for 90 seconds, we're letting all those notifications go up. And that's how we have over 250 people watching us on all the platforms today. Kind of fun. The stream, ATI Pro Media, didn't go like I thought it would. I thought more people would watch the after shows. They actually enjoy the live content. We aren't currently sponsored by anyone, but that doesn't mean we won't be someday. I guess we're sponsored by me. I paid for a lot of this stuff, but Advanced Trading myself, we wrote some checks. If you know, you know. All right, 71,000 views on YouTube. That's kind of fun. I mean, that's 70. Oh, by the way, this is the funniest part. There's 3,883 likes, and it has a 97.2 thumbs up. If you like that short, just go under Advanced Trading Shorts, hit popular, and you'll see something we've talked about. Full disclosure, anytime we've had a short go viral, it's because we said something political. So it shows you how people are tuned in and what's setting them off, what makes them tick, right, Brady?
Yep, definitely.
Speaking of
I
ticking,
love the live aspect of it too. You talking about the live versus the recorded version and being able to interact, getting some comments, Luke's throwing some comments out, getting some more comments in here. It's interesting to
yeah,
see.
read them off. Let's go, and then we will be out of here. I love the comments when the boys and girls comment.
Buckeye Farm Boy, got to go do the Hall of Shame myself. Yep, more corn moving to town, heading cleaning out the old crop bins. Yep, Cody, what does the meat market look like?
Oh, we did that one, I think.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's cattle market,
Kinda?
meat market, but
Oh,
I think
okay.
that's a good point though, Cody, because we are cattle producers. We got to take that cowboy hat off and always look at the consumer side of things and what the beef business is doing. And beef's got some competition out there. I love beef. I'm a big beef advocate. I want steak. I want beef on my plate, but when it gets priced a little too high, I can't always afford it, and I got a good job. But
yeah, I want to stick with me, folks. I want to show you something. It's not because I'm happy about it. It's just something I want to show you. All right. Markets are really going in the tank, and this is partly because the Canadian Railway. When you look at the corn, the beans, the wheat really caught my attention here. Little live cattle down feeders doing their thing. I think I got the wrong month here, and look at that changing on the fly. Yeah, this is a something show, and it's not the show I enjoy. Interest rates. Remember we talked about interest rates being higher? This is that bond up a point. This whole 2 5 cents there is screwed. That's how I look at the markets when I present them to you each day. All right, thanks for checking in. We need your help. We need you to hit notifications when we go live if you want. If not, God, I hate to leave. We got 275 people watching. Let's see where they're coming off of. Yeah, interesting. Well, we appreciate it. I think my mom and dad are watching, and they probably like, good luck with the job interview with your whenever I'm on TV and dressed up. They go,
you look pro. I like it. You sound good too.
Thank you. They say funeral or a job interview. Actually, today, sadly enough, I do have a wake to go to, so we're gonna get her all done. ATI Pro Media live at 9. Brady Huck, Dodge City, Kansas, talking cowboy stuff. Tom Grisafi, Valparaiso, Indiana. Thanks for watching. Thanks for liking, subscribing. Check out our YouTube shorts. They're kind of fun. What else do I got? I'm going to switch over and go on live TV. We had 250 watching here. We're going to have 25,000 watching there. Actually, this is more fun because I sit with my friend Brady and Connor and all of you. You really took time out of your day to watch us, and we're going to give you a gift of a thumbs up. And thanks for subscribing. That's what we got for you today. Maybe tomorrow, if you're a true patriot, we'll start sending flags, but who knows? All right. We love our fans. Drop a comment down below. Call to action real quick before we get out of here. What's your favorite ag show or any show? Like, drop a comment. What are you watching? Who's good out there in ag? I got all types of friends and family in the industry who are producing all types of stuff. And then I'll give you some suggestions of some other great shows. We ain't the only game in town, but I think we're one of the best. We'll see you all tomorrow.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us. We're here every day, 9 a.m. Central. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll see you next time.